Hello everyone, so today in this video we're going to be talking about the top 10 highest frequency languages as of January 2023. So all of these languages on this list now are enlightened. I test languages with my healer, and last list we saw lots of languages that were at the peace frequency too. In this list it's all enlightened languages. So enlightenment has these characteristics. So has a life perspective, a life view of what is, the drive to save humanity, and the feelings of ineffable. You just feel ineffable, and you also have the process of your ultimate consciousness. So number 10, we're going to start with Hebrew, Ivrit, at 700. שבע מאה, עברית במספר שבע מאה, ואני יודע את זה כי זה כשאני מדבר בעברית אני מרגיש מאוד מאוד מרוע, וזה גם אני יכול להושיע את האנשים עם עברית, כי זה עברית מושיע את האנשים, ועברית יודע שיש ושאין, זה מאוד מישהו עם מתמטיקה, וגם יש במספרים, יש במילים מספרים. זה גם עם קבלה יכולים להשתמש את זה, וזה גם אני חושב זה בסדר, וזה גם זה מאוד מאוד מגניב, וגם עברית זה מאוד, זה שפה של נפש, וגם שפה אפרו-אזיאטית סמיתית. זה בשפות אפרו-אזיאטית יש קושיטיק בברית, וזה גם סמיתית, זה עברית סמיתית, ואז גם זה שפה של תורה, שפה של יהודות, משהו כזה, וקבלה גם. So, גם אני חושב שזה מאוד חשוב ללמוד עברית וללמוד על קבלה ומישהו כזה מאוד מרוע. So now we're moving on to number 9. So number 9 has actually the same frequency as Hebrew, but this is an Indo-European language in the Indo-Aryan branch. This is Orissa or Odisha, spoken in India. Hebrew has about 5 to 10 million speakers and is mainly spoken in Israel. But this language is spoken in a province of India by like maybe 35 million people. This language has a lot of similarities to Sanskrit, but lost the dual form and I think also neutral gender. So I can't really comment too much on this language, but as we might know from its frequency and number 700, we can say that it's similar to like Hebrew in terms of the characteristics that it would carry. I still think Hebrew is more powerful because, well, I guess, in the same respect, we could combine Orissa or Odisha language with or Odia. There's like lots of names, but this language with Hinduism could be very powerful, but I think Sanskrit's obviously way more powerful than that, which actually leads us to number 8. All right, so also Indo-Aryan, right, Indo-European language. Sanskrita at 712, so we moved, from 700 to 712. Aham janami sanskritam bhasham karatuni asti ja sobrabhota yada sanskritam bhasham vadami sobrabhota anubhavami ja yada patami tat sundara asmi ja sanskritam bhasham vedeshu asti ja sundareshu vedeshu asti ja patami rigvedaha patami ja sanskritam bhasham sundara tatkaromi. So guys, Sanskrit is just a very spiritual language of Hinduism, Jainism, and Buddhism, as well. There's other languages for Jainism and Buddhism, but Sanskrit also is kind of there as well with Buddhism and Jain origins. So anyways, that being said, though, This language is just very great for the consciousness. It's extremely scientific and everything. It's a very long process, but it's the most rewarding one in your life that you'll ever make. Sanskrit is just so spiritual for the soul, the Atman. You will really, really feel the power of Sanskrit, all these characteristics. Sanskrit tells what is, because Sanskrit has these forms that really tell us what things are on a higher level of consciousness. In the grammar and how all the language works is just what it is. Like, for example, when you say rakte vane, it means in a red forest. Or let's say harite vane, right, in a green forest, right? Now, the reason why is because you have to change it's in the green, in the forest, is what it translates to. Why? Because how can green be not in what is in the forest if the forest is green? So these are, Sanskrit's very enlightened in that sense. So, so I definitely know that this language is 712, language of existence, Hebrew language of life, Sanskrit language of existence. So, moving up to number 7. So, Pali. All right, Pali is 720, right? So it's an Indo-Aryan language in the Indo-European language family, in the Indo-Aryan branch. This language is the language of the Buddha, right? And Pali is very similar to Sanskrit, and I think that Pali is very enlightened for sure. Definitely, has all the characteristics of Sanskrit, tells you what is in consciousness, but just on a slightly higher level with maybe the vibrations of the vocals, because I find the sounds tend to be just a little bit more in the clouds a little bit. And see, this to me is just a little bit higher frequency, like these cloud sounds, like when you're in like the clouds a little bit, like kind of whoa, and that might sound really, 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 really kind of crazy, but it's just really the essence of what it is in Pali. You just feel like you're in the clouds, kind of like. It's really, really cool. And so it's very spiritual. Obviously, you can do a lot with it, with Buddhist sutras and mantras, etc. And that's a very, very spiritual thing. It definitely has the drive to save humanity, to know what Pali is, because then you can know all the Pali text for Buddhism, just like with Hinduism and Sanskrit. It's very similar with Pali. So definitely, because when you learn it, you know what these things are more. So then it has that drive of saving humanity in that sense. So yeah, it's really, really cool, and it's very ineffable, the feelings. Yeah. Moving up to number 6, we move from 720 to 730. Now I'm going to do number 6 and number 5 at the same time, because this is Altai language. Alright, so 730 is Altai, but Altai on Wikipedia says there's 2 dialects. Wikipedia stranice zinde iki dialekt bolgondep bishinip tru. Ce mege bir dialekt bolar. Bir dialekt bolzodo bu jeti 130 bolar. Dengdeşte ce iki dil barbozodo tündük Altaytili jarktu bolar. Ce tüstük jarktu emes amır bolar. Ce mege Altaylarga Altaylar üçün bu til bir til bolar. Ce mege de bir til bolar. Ce bu jarktu bir til. Altay jarktu bir til jarktu sesipturum ce bu kişilikti arkadap tru bu til kişilikti arkadap tru ce bu til jürgimde turup tru ce bu baş üçün sağış üçün bu til jakşı cekerektü onun üçün sağıştu bulup bulurum bu tille kojo. So that's what I have to say about Altai. Really high frequency language, very spiritual with the shamanism there, and I can definitely see why it's 730. Altai is just quite something you can't describe, the feeling of it, the essence. Just to clarify, that was Turkic language, right? Altai is a Turkic language in the Siberian branch. But now we're moving to number 4. This is a Tungusic language, everyone. Tungusic language testing at 730 enlightenment for Ever Turan, okay? Now, everyone, Tungusic languages are not as known, but they have very high frequencies. These people have a shamanic-based culture. Not only that, these people, the Evenki people, have quite an enlightening language, and I was listening to their music, and I just was blown away. I mean, it was just so ineffable, the feeling of it. Like, I could not describe what I was listening to, and it was so beautiful, and it almost made me cry. It was just so beautiful, and so yeah, that's what I have to say about this. And currently, I'm not gonna learn it because Altai is enough for me because it's at the same frequency, and so yeah. But maybe at some point, if there was the resources, I'm interested in other Tungusic languages like Manchu and Hebei. I'm going to test their frequencies next time, and I'm sure they're going to be also on the same level, honestly, definitely for sure. So now we're moving up to 3, number 3. So we're moving up from 730 to 750. All right. So what is at 750? This is indeed a language from Sri Lanka, the language of about 15 million people, more or less, I think. This is Simhala. This is also the language of Theravada Buddhism. So this is testing very high. I mean, I listened to this language, and I just definitely thought, wow, like, I haven't really felt anything like this before. So it was definitely an indicator that it was at a new frequency I hadn't experienced yet. And I definitely feel like the way it flows is something I can't describe. It's specifically with the rhythm, There's always, like, a specific thing, like, you know what it is. Like, I can say it's the rhythm, but I can't, like, describe what it feels like. It's just, like, I just know it's the rhythm in this case, like, of the language. And so, it's something, very spiritual with a lot of the, sutras and spiritual, music that exist in this language, Simhala, which is also, very sort of, you can awaken, or there's the spiritual awakening that can happen there. Simhala is also an Indo-European language. It's the highest Indo-European language, and it's also the highest frequency language in the Indo-Aryan branch. So we're moving up to number 2, which is Nya. Oh, what is going on with Nya here? 800. Oh, everyone, what is going on with Nya? Okay, so I'll say what's going on with Nya, okay? Nya is an Urgic language. Other languages in this family would include Finnish, Hungarian. So what's going on with Nya, or Nagana-san? Well, what's going on with this language is, this language is in the Great Void. There's a space, when you listen to their shamanic songs, you'll be taken to... These people live in Russia and Siberia, and not many exist, maybe 125 speakers, but when you listen to their music, you will go on some journey that you just cannot describe. You just cannot describe this stuff. And it's something like a convergence of, like, a spiritual cosmic energy that's just like casting you into this space of, like, a convergence of things that it's just really hard to describe really what's going on with this language, honestly. This language is like almost like an alien civilization that implanted a seed of cosmic light information into these people. I mean, that's like a metaphor basically to describe what it feels like or something, but it's like, wow. And so yeah, this language is definitely pretty ineffable, guys. Gosh, yeah. So this is the number 2. Now number 1 is talking in tongues, right? Talking in tongues, 930. So we moved up from 800 to 930. So talking in tongues, think about it. It is what it is. You just talk in other tongues. There's no meaning. You just tune into it, feel into it. You're present. That's an ineffable feeling. I do it all the time on a daily basis. But so definitely it's great for, it's like consciousness change, when you do stuff like that. So pretty really cool stuff. So light language, or talking in tongues, is indeed the highest frequency thing out there right now for languages. And but for actual languages that are spoken, Nia is the highest frequency. So this is what I have to say about the top 10 highest frequency languages as of January 2023. I will update this in the future, like a couple months later. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all later. Bye bye.